So first of all, a little bit about us. Who are Ideal Shopping Direct? We're one of the largest. I'm not sure what I mean by fully multi-channel, but I guess I'm talking about non-bricks and mortar. We have a web offering, we have a TV offering, we have a catalogue offering. We touch the audiences, and that's another bit of jargon: audience, customer. That's a kind of similar thing for me. So we touch our audiences and our customers in different ways. And we've got those sort of three main ones. We do it through mobile, we do it through tablet devices, so on and so forth. We have a catalogue heritage that went into TV over 12 years ago, and then we obviously hit onto online and mobile, and there's lots of convergent stuff that's happening in the future that we're going to get involved in. We're doing quite well. We're in our third consecutive year of double-digit growth. Tough times, competitive market. We're trading really, really well, which is fantastic news for us, our investors and our partners, obviously. We've got two live TV shopping channels, Ideal World and Create and Craft. We are on Freeview, which isn't cheap. We are on Sky, which is quite cheap. We're on FreeSat, which is even cheaper. And the less said about Virgin, the better. And we're also online and mobile. And we're looking at more opportunities, be that live. We've got 2 live studios running 29 hours a day in Peterborough, which is pretty unique. We've probably got UK's most successful niche TV shopping channel, which is something I never thought I'd ever see in my life. And we'll come to that a little bit later. We have a gardening business, we have a pets business, we have a sourcing business that supplies to us and to other people internationally. And this is where it might go a little bit. Oh no, it's there. We're targeting further expansion opportunities domestically and internationally. TV shopping is in emerging markets is quite attractive for some reason, and lots of people would like to sort of understand us. We're quite quick and creative to jump on those opportunities. So we've got stuff in the UK and abroad to sort of get ourselves involved in. So it's exciting times. This is my no shit Sherlock slide. TV's changing. Thank you. First round of applause of the night. Thanks. It's got to be worth something. I should stop now, shouldn't I? I talk and attend summits on IPTV, converged, social media, disruptive media, new platforms, so on and so forth. No one knows what it's changing to. That's the only thing that we can all come out of this understanding is it's a really exciting time. There's loads of new technology. There's loads of new ideas. Where's it going to go? It hasn't had, I guess, its iPhone moment. It hasn't had anything that's come along and has absolutely turned it on its head. And we're going to find ourselves in an entirely new environment, which makes it very exciting for me because I think, we're going to find something cool coming around the corner. There are some clear factors that will influence the outcome. There you go. That's where it went wrong. IPTV, so Internet Protocol Television, so basically connecting to the web through the devices or televisions that you're looking at. So that's broadcasting becoming narrowcasting, antenna and satellite sending out a linear signal that is picked up and decoded, and if you don't like what's on and you haven't time shifted it, bad luck. That's not happening anymore. You're narrowcasting a personal channel or personal selection to an IPTV or device. That's going to change things. It hasn't quite bedded in yet. There are lower entry points to creating and sharing. I mean, if you wanted to set up our channels now, tens and tens of millions of pounds to get onto Freeview, to get onto Virgin, to set up studios, so on and so forth. So that's prohibitive for a lot of people, but it comes with its own challenges if you do actually make it there. There are devices and technology that will compete with TV potentially, or they'll augment it, and I think it's augmentation that will be the most interesting thing, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And one-way becoming multi-directional. It's not only two-way traffic, so it would be great. We like the red button because you could transact through it, but the fact of the matter is, it's not even broadcaster to the consumer, the audience, the customer, and back again. It now goes out. It's social, and it's quite an overwhelming concept to imagine that the power is shifting from broadcasting to audiences choosing, and exactly how we're going to do that. Again, there's no clear answer, but a lot of ideas. So the second screen is bringing about convergence. You'll have heard of apps and Zbox and big players that are involved in that. It all sort of comes down to disruptive media. This is my sort of definition of the best that I can understand. It's different things delivered by different means to different devices. And TV is one of those, which is, again, interesting. So who's in the box seat with this sort of new converged world? Again, I haven't got an answer, but I think we're in a relatively good place. TV skills are, here we go, here comes the clicker, are a rare commodity. I've chatted to a few people and it's like, well, we don't quite understand how that works. We don't quite understand how that's going to fit into what we do. In the UK, doing what we do is basically QVC and us. There are other channels, but they're either infomercial channels, but this is live television selling. In the US, it's HSN and QVC. There are other players, but it's not something that's being overrun with people coming and saying, that's easy to do, let's do it successfully, remain in it. That's not the case. So if people are going to start to sort of, bleed into the TV world and start to find this new convergent place, we think we're in quite a decent position for that. You can't just put the web on TV. That's not convergent use of the media, etc. It's lean back versus lean forward. It's social versus personal. You need a sophisticated solution, and again, this is something that's going to come, and I think we all need to have our minds on. And you can't just put your catalogue on the screen. We mentioned Argos. I don't think they're having the best time of it. I don't know if Amazon will buy them. We wondered if they were going to buy us, and they didn't, and they sort of went for it. I think I've actually found out, I was on the Argos order line, and the lady on the phone told me that they were going down to 2 hours a day. I'm not sure how she knew. So I don't take that as gospel, but they're starting to reduce down, and because you can't just come on. Here's what we got to, here's what we got to buy. So what? I'll go to your catalogue. I'll go to a website. I'll find something else. It's a slightly more sophisticated model, even though a lot of people possibly wouldn't believe it or want to understand it. And also, so if you've got those lower, points of entry, just because you're creating it, no one is necessarily going to watch it. I mean, let's say we can all start a TV channel tonight and put it on YouTube. That's not a problem. 60 hours a minute are uploaded to YouTube. So you've got to have something pretty compelling if you're going to try to engage people with whatever you're going to put on whichever channel you decide to go for. You can use your brand to drive it there. So you've got to get them there. Then you've got to think, this is something that I watch. Is it lifestyle? Is it educational? Is it celebrities on there that are doing things? And then how are you going to convert that into a sale? Not just a marketing tool, not just a brand awareness piece, but actually a place where you can do commerce. It's a fine art. It's not a dark art. It's a guilty pleasure for a lot of people. I think there's a report recently that said that 10% of audiences admitted watching TV shopping, which is an interesting, but they're quite happy to say that they love porn. But TV shopping's right, it's out there on the edge. So we need to be careful about that. So be careful of what you say when you come out of here. And sort of, technology, it's maybe one day soon it's going to replace everything, but for now it's going to make the conventional channels and the conventional streams better. I'm looking, there are channels out there that are, that have spent a lot of money and have had a lot of involvement in trying to get to where they are, and I think we have a fantastic industry. But it's going to be augmented. We're not going to suddenly, one day, all the masts will come down, all the satellites will be turned off, and guess what? We're all sort of cord cutters and we're watching TV through devices all of the time. So we've got to find the stepping stones to that. I'm going to talk about a couple of themes that we found. I'm going to come back to one of the channels. The power of niche is something that we're finding. It's all of those previous sort of dark arts that I was referring to as to what we do, but we have a channel called Create and Craft. Crafting, cutting up paper, making cards, knitting, sewing, decoupage, look it up. And we have, if anyone can tweet that, that'd be quite good. These guys, we got almost 100,000 of them. They pay £20 a year to be a member. So this isn't just join up for fun or a loose loyalty sort of scheme. They're paying money. They get discounts, they get rewards, they get magazines. They make around £50 million of revenue. This isn't, who would have thought, let's go out, I got a great idea, let's start a TV channel about card making. You'd have been laughed out of town. It's like, but they're there. They've got excellent loyalty. We reward them with passionate, communicative presenters, and they're a passionate, communicative, and engaging audience, which isn't easy to say after a glass of rosé. And we talk to them about what they love, and they share that. And there's a slight distinction here. We sort of entertain and engage, and then hope that they buy. It's not what people would think TV shopping is all about. You know what? Just sell, 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 buy, chucking it straight across the top. There's a slightly different mentality. So that's one of the things. I mean, an example that I use. My dad's a mad keen fisherman. He would love a community. He would love a TV channel. He can't go to his local fishing shop anymore. It closed down ages ago. But he'd love to engage in this kind of thing. So, that if you can communicate with these audiences as well, if you've got things on your roster and you think, let's just serve them up exactly what they need. It's something that we've found that, in fact, if you've got content that's engaging and a place and a virtual social that they can get involved in, they'll stick with you and they'll spend a lot of money. Own your niche, that's what we'd like to think that we do with Craft. New delivery methods. So this is kind of going to recap on some of the points. How am I doing on time? Am I okay?
Oh, you're over about 5 minutes.
5 minutes over. I'm going to take it easy now. So this will recap on some of the points that I'm sure all of you know about, all of you are aware of all of these things. New platforms can supersede some of the TV things or at least augment it. I mean, we're the near future augmentation is the greatest opportunity. I think there was if you look at Style the Nation, I think there's some people in here from New Look perhaps. New Look did a whole sort of companion piece with Style the Nation and turned that into another step. Now I'm not sure if that was a sales driven activity or a marketing driven activity, but it's a great example of how in fact normal TV can also get involved with brands or get involved with retailers, etc. Again, as we said, you can get on the box, but how are you going to be found? What's the search and recovery? UView will be coming out one day, if anyone's heard of it. So only 3 nodding heads, so they've done a good job. It's basically it's going to be your Freeview box, and you're going to have a certain amount of IPTV channels able to go through your connected devices, etc. They are going to they were meant to launch a year ago. They're going to do a soft launch for the Olympics apparently, and then it will all be exciting one day. But they're going to order channels by the number of views that they get. So you've got to have some pretty good stuff, even if you're going to get on a TV via an IPTV device on an open platform that is designed exactly for you. You might be at the tail end of hundreds, if not thousands, of channels. So you've got IPTV, but how are you going to set yourself aside? It's really challenging, and again, why we think we've got a little bit of a head start, and why conventional broadcasters will have a little bit of a head start, or are useful partners to get involved with. Where are we at? TV Anywhere, but serve it up appropriately. And social TV, user-generated growth, but not if the content's no good. It's great. You have a website, people look at it, and they are doing stuff. I think around 40% of people use a phone or tablet while they're watching TV. So there's a social element around there. There's ZBox, which is invented by the guy who made iPlayer, which is quite a cool thing. So people are doing stuff. So you might be able to engage in another stage of things with them. That augmented experience. Another thing that I loved was Germany's Next Top Model. Another thing I never thought I'd say, but they had a second screen thing where you were watching live, and it's like, this is what the model is wearing. Would you like to buy what the model is wearing? Would you like to see what it would look like on your avatar? I mean, it takes you to different places. Transactional, two-way commerce, click to buy, things like that you expect on the internet, you'll be able to do through the dumb box in the corner of the room, the television. Doesn't mean TV's dumb, that's a distinction. It's a box that you can actually start to communicate with. And you create reasons to buy, and you remove obstacles. If you have to go over to the phone to pick it up, if you have to go to your tablet, if you can just go, boom, I'll have that, you know me, send it on, and then it can be there in 15 minutes, which is fantastic. We're slightly longer lead time on that from Peterborough. So the changing role of TV is going to be dramatic. A lot more is going to be demanded of it by audiences and customers. It will be more interactive. People will want to use it for different things. It will be a hub. It will be, hang on, hey, got my Omni bit there. It will be a hub. It will be a servant that can follow him or improve you around. It's not a TV. Stop thinking about TV on TV. It will evolve to a stage where it is a device that's going to do other things in your life. You'll game on it, you'll shop on it, so on and so forth. Looked over my shoulder, Hitman or something. Argos. I think they're doing really well. And conventional platforms still have a while to go. And there will be a transition before there's a brave new world of things. And I'm in good company with my Omni channel idea. There isn't actually a TV on there, but I didn't have time to find a slide that did have it. But this idea, and TV's got a part to play in it, we believe, that it's not bricks and mortar, and a mobile and a phone and a catalogue. It's a TV as well. And an integration of all of those things with a super design. And there's going to be big rewards for whoever can sort of find the time. But at the moment, everyone's stood at the shore. It's like the massage, should we jump in or will a crocodile get us, or who's going to go across the front first of all? It's a little bit edgy. It's really good fun, and it's going to be an exciting place to be. And I think TV, love it or hate it, is going to have a fantastic part to play in that. So thank you very much.